What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today we're going to be taking a look at a game that I'm actually pretty bad at, but I wanted to show it off because for all of you management sim nuts out there, this game might be right up your alley. This game is called Airport CEO, and it is a complicated airport management game, but it's got depth there that a lot of other management sims and tycoons do not have, and so I think it'll scratch that itch for a lot of people that are into like really complicated games. And so anyways, this is a tough game to pick up. I'm gonna try and mash my way through it. I've played the tutorials, I've watched a bunch of YouTube videos. I'm really trying to learn this game. I've probably put 2 or 3 hours in just trying to learn it. We might not get too far in, we might run into some blunders, but hey, that's what editing is for. So let's do this thing. Begin a new adventure. What face do I... Oh, that man looks safe. That man looks very safe. His name is going to be Dick Rathford, CEO. And I don't know why he's coming to work looking like he just, like, I don't know, sucked on a leaky pen, but why can I change his lips around? Is that possible? Why are his lips, why is he like a harlequin right now? Like, I don't know what he's doing at the moment. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe he's just harlequin in disguise. I don't know. That is a Shadowrun reference. So yay, let's play Dick Rathford, CEO. Dick Rathford doesn't care about your protocols. Get me the CFO on the line now. We got to choose where we want our place of business to be. I'm going to put it in the bay. We're going to put it over here in the bay. Yup, here we go. Oh, shit, my home's on the map. What? There's my second home, too, up here in Santa Rosa. Yup, West 9th Street in Dutton. What's up? So anyways. We'll probably put it like... I don't know. We can put it basically wherever. Elk Grove. If you ever end up in Elk Grove, you did it wrong. I don't know what the it is, but you've done it wrong. Let's see here. I don't know exactly where I want to drop it. I mean, we could be out like... We could be out by Valley Joe. Vallejo. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go out by Vallejo. Let's be out of Vallejo. There, I say it like that on purpose. I say it like that on purpose because they always on the radio. Everybody calls it Vallejo that lives here. But, like, everybody on the radio is like, in Vallejo. They always, like, pronounce it hella weird. They'll be like, if you come by Vallejo. Anyways, we're going to call it Cuddyport. There it is. It's Cuddyport. And then we're going to call it CDP. There it is. We got to choose our little icon. We're going to make it look gold and sexy. This game is in early access, so it's currently being developed. All features are not in. I'm going to start on easy because, frankly, I need all the help that I can get. So let's Airport CEO it on up. Let's do this thing. Dick Rathford from Vallejo. Let's do this thing. Yeah, that doesn't matter. That's just the mayor being like, oh, hey, what's up? You're building an airport in the place where I live. That's pretty sweet. So we might not even get to planes in this episode. Fair warning. There's a distinct possibility we might not even get to see any planes in this episode. This game is like Prison Architect in that, like, you've got to build everything first, but unlike Prison Architect, it takes a long time before your airport is, like, functional. It's going to take us a little bit, and I find it actually easier to start with the airports. So what I need to do for right now is we need an airport. So where is our runway? So there's our runway. I find it easier to start with the runway and work inwards rather than try to build the entire complex over here and then fit the runway and the tarmac and everything else around it. So... let's put in, we'll put the airport, like, right there's our first runway. So we got a small runway right there. Cost us a pretty decent amount of change. We're going to need a tarmac. We're going to need a tarmac. And we built stuff. The tarmac, so the tarmac might as well be called giant concrete area that does nothing. The tarmac is not important. It doesn't actually do anything. It just makes everything look more like an airport. And so I'm going to put in, like, a tarmac right there. And so that's just going to be like a concrete area. And so we need a taxiway foundation. I'm okay with that. The taxiway will probably do something like, I don't know, something like that right there. And so I think that's our taxiway. And so we're going to use this essentially, so the taxiway is where the airplane is going to go when it gets off the runway. So the runway, he lands, and then the taxiway gives him a little bit of space so that he can be like, oh, I'm going to pull off over here. And then I'll probably, like, taxiway it in the center right there, too. We'll have to set up, like, taxiway lines in just a minute, and frankly, every single time I do it, I mess it up. It never works the way I want it to, but we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. And then we will have, like, a large tarmac area right here. We'll call that, like, a 25 by 25. There we go. So there's a tarmac. And on the tarmac, a lot of this stuff is hard to visualize in your head too when it's all just on blueprints. Like once they start building things and putting things in place, it's easier to start organizing things. That's just my opinion about the whole thing. We also need some stands. Stands are where the planes are going to come in, and they're going to stop, and they're going to do their thing. And so if I put in like a stand right there, a stand right there, a stand right there, and a stand right there. How much is this costing me, by the way? A lot. Let's go ahead and start the game up real fast, because I feel like this is going to get expensive, because we spent 80,000 right there. We've got 2 million, so it should be all right. So we've spent 215,000 so far. That's not actually that terrible, considering everything that we have in play. And then I'm going to put one in right here, too. So there we go. And then these front runways are going to taxi light up into here. I might actually widen this a little bit so there's a tad more space. And I may actually make a separate taxiway that goes up and around to the end of the runway, too. And also one that goes up to the end of the runway here, because they can actually take off in either direction. It doesn't matter. They can go wherever they want to go. But there's our airplane stands. There's our tarmacs. We've got that all done. On the tarmac, the next thing that I would recommend that we have is if we go to the structures menu, we need an ATC tower. And so there it is. We need a weather station. There it is. We're going to need a vehicle depot, because you got to have the little like cars that drive around on the tarmac, and they like handle stuff, and they like fix things, and they like they do the airline inspections, and they run around and they refuel everything. You need that too. If you don't have that, it's going to be a little bit rough. We're not going to worry about security and fences and stuff like that for right now. I have no idea if you can actually have plane hijackers or whatever in this game. I have no clue. Or if there's like any terrorist aspect to it. But you do need security checkpoints and stuff like that for people to get to the airport. And oh, the joy of dealing with the TSA. Dude, I hate the TSA so much. I have an irrational hatred of the TSA. You guys don't even know. I hate them so much. Like, the TSA is the worst. If you guys don't know what the TSA is essentially the security agency that now basically, like, stop and frisks you and gropes your nuts and everything every time you go to the airport. It's the worst. I hate it. I hate them so much. And, like, it's like they hate their jobs, too. Have you ever seen a happy TSA person? So what you want to do is you want to build a roundabout over here. Building a roundabout will make your life a little bit easier, because traffic is going to start coming through here. And they're going to try and flip a bitch, like, at each corner if they can. And if you make it a roundabout, it kind of limits the chance that they're going to do that and makes your life a little bit easier. In addition, it's probably a decent idea. That's not lined up. That's upsettingly not lined up. There we go. That's lined up. We'll also make a crossover right there. I don't know exactly what we're going to use it for yet. But now that we've got our airport over here, the ATC tower is going to allow us to schedule flights. The weather thingy allows us to see what the weather is so that we can not take off into giant storms, because I have been in a plane that was landing in like a blizzard, and it was the most terrifying shit ever. I don't think I've ever held onto an armrest that hard in my entire life. I had like literal beads of sweat on my forehead. It was bad. It was not fun. It was not a good day. And I'm already afraid of flying. Fair enough, man. I'm already afraid of flying, so that is not... I'm not a good flyer. I really sincerely am not. I fly because I need to get places, but I do not enjoy it. I do not enjoy it. So we need a bus stop where people can get dropped off here. I'll probably make this the bus area right here. That seems all right. We'll put in like a couple of bus stops right here so that people can get here. That might get a little crowded, but... We'll fix it as necessary. I mean, something bad might go wrong there. We'll put in a couple of car drop-offs over here. And so if we want that to be spaced just right, there's our car drop-offs. We can build more in the future. So we've got 6 car drop-offs and we've got 6 bus stops. That should be good enough for right now. And if it isn't, people are just being whiny and complaining. We need sidewalks, because the people that are going to get here are not going to have a place to walk. I tend to go overboard with my sidewalks because I like to make sure they have places they can be. And since everyone's going to flow this way, I don't see any reason. I'm going to put in a sidewalk down here because later on we're probably going to add more bus stops and more drop-off locations. And so it's a good idea to future-proof by putting in sidewalks over here. And like I told you, man, you're probably not going to see any airplanes in this episode. There is a lot of building you have to do. I actually think the game needs to be streamlined a little bit. I think that it's a little overly complicated at the moment. And whereas that got me addicted, I couldn't sleep last night because I was thinking about it and being like, all right, well, how can I do this better? How can I do this better? You know what I mean? Some people will hit that wall and just be like, nah, not my job. I don't need to stress about this, which is understandable. We got to put in crosswalks so that people can get across the street. Otherwise, they'll just sit across the street and be like, I don't know what I should do. And they'll be all confused. Like, I just want to be an airport guy. All I ever wanted to do was ride in an airplane while wearing a suit with no tie and talking on a phone with my shades on inside. Look, I'm carrying a briefcase. I'm important. That's like my impression of business guys at the airport. Like, I'm wearing a suit to ride a plane. Why can't you just dress normal, man? Why can't you put on the suit when you get there to do your job? Maybe I'm just being a hater. I am a giant hater. You guys have no idea. I'm a huge hater. I'm a hardcore hater. I'll probably put in a crosswalk over here, too, just in case. This seems like a nightmare for anybody actually trying to go through the airport. But it's an airport. If we made it fun and convenient, it would lose that tangible, that certain intangible something about being an airport. It's got to be miserable. Otherwise, it wouldn't be an airport. Let's go over here. And we'll get sidewalks. Yup. Got them sidewalks. Sidewalks. Sidewalks for me. There we go. I'll put one over here, although I don't think we need one. And then what'll happen is this will go up right here. This will go up right here. And you might notice I left this open. That's for a reason. I left this open for a reason because your service personnel that work on the planes, they have to get here. And there's got to be a security checkpoint over here. We're actually kind of far away from the runway. So we want our terminal to be right here. So this is going to be our terminal right here. And then we would want our security station like kind of attached to it. And then we want an info area. And then we want to leave lots of room for expansion. And so my idea here is that later on we'll add a second runway that goes sideways right here. And we'll have a second terminal on this side. I mean, assuming we get that far into the game. We're already 15 minutes in and we have accomplished like nothing. Like 0 things have been accomplished so far. But yeah, this is going to be a service road right here that runs this way. Like so. And then what we'll do is on the tarmac, we're going to put a service road that runs across here so that the trucks can come over to here and all of our service buildings like our fuel depot, our trucks, our parking zone, everything will be over here. God, I'm so glad, by the way, that this game does not have you deal with parking. Seriously, parking is the worst. So this is going to be a service road over here. And did I have to designate that as a service road? I might have needed to designate that as a service road. I did. Service roads are different from roads. Let's go ahead and we'll cancel that then. Who knew? It costs $10 to make a service road. See, Caltrans always complaining about budgetary issues. Always complaining. It might back up right there if I do this. I don't know if this is the spot where I want this to be. The secure position is not valid. Yeah, it's got to be like over here or something, I think. There we go. It's got to have the road on one side. Why is that not working? It's got to have the service road on one side. It might need a gap in the road. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it needs a gap in the road right there. Let me try that. Like I said, there's all kinds of weird, finicky things in this game that you just got to kind of mash your way through. Let me see if this works now. So we got the... There it is. Cool. We got our security checkpoint right there. So our checkpoint's done. That means that no unauthorized vehicles will come this way. Essentially, this acts as a logic stopgap for public vehicles that are coming around up and in here. We probably want to get started with construction. If you leave the game running, actually, if we turn it on right now, you'll notice in our little delivery zone right here, trucks will start pulling up and they'll start throwing crates over here. Actually, sort of haphazardly. They don't really seem to care. We also need to hire construction guys. We hire construction guys through one of these menus over here. I believe it's the contracts menu. Dick Rathford needs workers. Send me workers so I can get my airport up and running. I like how he's getting a little bit more like East Coasty each time that I do it. We can go with highway guys. I mean, both these contracts basically seem the same to me. So these contracts are for workers. This is for 69 workers, giggity. And they will get paid $8.6 an hour. What's the other contract? 69, it's the same contract. Okay, we'll sign that real fast. We now have workers, and I think if we go to the staff menu... No, that is not what we wanted. We go to the economy menu. That's what it is. Maybe? And at that point, we go to the operations menu. We go to construction. We say deploy all contractors. Deploy! 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 I like to believe we have like a contractor's alarm that goes off when we do that. And then we'll keep building while they start building so that we can actually, like, I don't know, do fun stuff today, like actually house a plane. I'm going to have that go across to there. And then we're going to have that connect right there. Oh, it looks so sexy. It's looking good, man. It's looking good. Wiring all this shit is going to be a nightmare. I'm not looking forward to it. But we're going to have to do it. So anyways, let's go with our structures here. We got to build a foundation. And so what we're trying to do with the foundation right here is I will put in a foundation that looks something like that. That is a lot of foundation. It cost us a lot of money, but I started with extra money because I wanted to show you guys the building aspect of the game and just kind of like mash my way through, and I didn't want to run into any stop gaps. There we go. As you can see, they're dropping off all the construction supplies right here. The road is not wide enough. This bus right here should be full of workers, but it won't drop off the workers till they get to that little area right there, I don't think. Next up, so we've got a couple different things we need. This is going to be our terminal, at least our first terminal. I could actually probably do with making this a little bit smaller. It more than likely does not need to be that size. However, be aware, if you delete a chunk of your terminal, you've got to replace a wall like that real fast, and then we're going to have to delete some walls too because the game's deciding to be weird right now. So anyways, we've got a strange internal wall right there that's just being a pain. So there's our first terminal right there. We can put in things like benches and restaurants and stuff like that as time goes along. We're probably not going to mess with that too much right now. I don't think that that's something that I want to prioritize. Instead, we're going to make a second building right here. And just giving myself lots of space to play around with so that we don't have to worry about it too much. We got the checkpoint right here. I'll probably run a fence from there to the checkpoint so that people can't get over here. And so I should probably do that now before I forget. So there we go. We'll go fence to the checkpoint so that people can't go through into our little landing area. And then as far as this goes, I should probably do something similar with the checkpoint off to the edge of the map. So there we go. So we now have a fence so that people can't like get into our area. The other thing that I would recommend is let's do this on this side too, so you don't have like randos walking around being like, I just want to see the Cessnas. Is there a Cessna? And so once that's done, I'm a fancy airport guy. Blah, 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 blah. I'm talking on my phone. I look super important. My feet are shiny. People, if they ever just people watch at the airport, I don't talk much, and all I do is just talk shit in my head when I go places because I'm an asshole. But it doesn't escape, so I feel like I should get some points for that. Like, I don't actually say it. It just runs around in my head. Alright, so this is going to be our main tarmac area. I'm sorry, not our main tarmac area. This is going to be our main terminal area. We need doors. So let's drop maybe like a doors is in right there. That looks good. We're going to need a door over here too. Once that door's in, what I want to do is I want to make a security station right here. So there we go. Secure door right there. Perfecto. The workers should start building shit pretty soon. It looks like they're just hucking crates for right now. These are all people who are trying to get here to go on flights, even though the airport isn't even built yet. Nobody said they were the brightest out here, all right? Nobody said that these were the most brilliant minds that our culture had to offer. We've got to do... So we've got this right here. I was working on the security station. So we need to go to, I think, infrastructure. And then... No, it's not. This is going to be a secure area. So, defines terminal secure area. Access must be through the security point. So, yeah. We want this to be a secure area right here. So, that's a secure area. That means they have to go through a checkpoint in order to get there. They have no choice. They have to go through a security checkpoint. If they don't, then... I mean, that's... must be placed inside, must border an open and secure zone. Actually, I think I messed that up somehow. So I need to go like secure zone like this, I think maybe. And then once I do that, we've got our items. So security checkpoint. This must be placed. Yeah, there it is. Everything in this game has very specific placement. Very, very specific placement. So there's our security station right there. Actually, I probably could have done a small station. Let's do a small station because we're just like a little airport right now. We're like a little tiny baby airport. And it deleted my zoning. Why would it do that? Or did it add to my zoning? I think it added to my zoning. Looks like it did. Oh, well. There we go. So the zoning's taken care of. Let's go with a small security checkpoint here. So we've got a small security checkpoint there. I'm going to future-proof and put in 2 of them. We have extra money, so why worry about it? And then this is the secure zone exit. People don't need a security check to exit this area. They just need to get in. And then what we need to do is we need to block this off. So on the in the structures menu, we're just going to drop a little sexy wall right there. There we go. The sexiest of walls. And so there's our security station. We'll have 2 security terminals right here. People that want to go to the People that want to... Oh, my God. They are not building very rapidly. Here, I'm going to turn the game up a little bit while I wait for that to happen. Otherwise, we're never going to get anything done. Let's maybe... I mean, we're not even close either. We're not even close to having this whole thing set up. So they're building the taxiway for right now. Setting up the taxiway is going to be kind of special, but the other reason I always do this first is because if you build all of this area first, it takes them forever to get to the runway and everything, which are last, and you can't actually set up any of the organizational stuff for, like, where planes land, where they, like, back up to. I think it's called a pushback spot or something like that. You can't set up the taxi lines or anything like that. So I usually build the runway and everything first so that I can set up all the complicated stuff on the front end, like where the taxi lines go, where the maintenance lines go, and then once that's done, I can do the easy stuff like building the terminal and building, like, the main entryway area. So it's just stuff to think about over there. In this area, what I'd like to see is let's put in some more walls. And so I'd like for this to be... Oh, I don't know. We'll do something like this. We'll have like an entryway area. That looks about right to me. We'll put in a large door right here that lines up with said other large door. Cool. And then we need to go to our items menu, and we need to put in a info desk because people get confused and they're like, where am I? I don't know what's happening right now. And they start mouth breathing and they start littering and throwing shit everywhere. And so just to avoid like a monkey Armageddon over here, we're just going to put in a bunch of information desks. There we go. We don't have to hire somebody to work at every single one of these information desks. Like, we can only keep 2 of them staffed for right now. Once our throughput gets a little bit crazier, that's when we can start putting in like way, way more. What is that noise? That noise upsets me. What is that noise? I have no idea what that noise is. I've been digging around trying to figure out what it is for a minute. But, yeah, apparently we're just making noises now. We got construction workers over here. We are seriously backed up on this end as far as everything else goes. But they're starting to piece things together. They're starting to piece things together. Is that runway made of grass? That runway should not be made of grass. Did I screw that up? I must have. I must have messed that up. Why is that? Extend the runway towards the west. Make it asphalt, please. There we go. I want it to be like a real runway. I don't want to have like a, you know, we can't make like a dirty, like, ditch airport. It's got to be looking good, man. You guys know how I do. It needs to be baller. It needs to be baller. I don't know what that noise is, but I wish it would go away. That is an upsetting noise. They're building things. So I'll go ahead and speed that up in the hopes that... I don't know if it's supposed to be rainfall or what it's supposed to be, but it's obnoxious. We'll put in some bathrooms over here. Probably a decent idea so people don't pee on our floors. Yeah, I think it was supposed to be rainfall or something. I don't know what that was, but it was super annoying. We'll put in a door right there, and a door right there. A door right there, and a door right there. This is all part of the beautification process of making places nicer. I think we have to designate these bathrooms. I think. Yeah. So there we go. Those are now bathrooms, which means I can take bathroom items and I can put them inside of here. So we got some toilet cubicles. We'll call this the men's room, I guess. And then we'll go with a urinal right here. There we go. So the whole place can smell like pee. And so that you've got something that you can miss peeing at. Because why else do they put them in bathrooms? For the women's bathroom, it doesn't really matter. I think they're actually universal in this game. I don't think they're actually distinguished by male and female yet. They might be later on, but it doesn't seem to me that they are right now. And then we will put in some sinks over here too. Because people got to wash their hands. People got to wash their hands. We probably won't have this place built for like another day or so. I'm going to try and get it up and operating in this episode, but like no promises. Like there's a lot of stuff that we need to do in order to make this all work. And so the unfortunate circumstance is that, like, this is what we've got done as we approach the end of our first episode. But, I mean, there's so much stuff to this game. There absolutely is. I mean, you've got to hire each employee individually. You get to, because you're the CEO, you can handle everything with operations. I mean, with baggage handling. You've got to set up the conveyor belts that take the baggage to the places where they need to go. I mean, this is a very complicated very in-depth game. You get to hire the board, so you have to have a CFO, a CIO, a COO, a strategy director, an HR director, and each one of these things gets you other stuff. You can do research so that your airport can get more parts. I mean, for realsies, there is a lot of stuff inside this game. Hell, you can sit around for hours just making the place look pretty, not even making it functional. I mean, if there's something you want to do in this game, chances are you can probably do it. The trick to the whole thing is just figuring out how the hell you get to that thing and how you do it, because frankly, this game has the most terrifying set of menus I've ever seen in my life. I do think the game could do with some serious streamlining, but I don't know if that's really what the developers want. It seems like they want to make like a very complicated sim game, and so if that's what they want to do, who am I to tell people that's not what they should create? We are just bleeding out money right now. Then again, that's kind of what happens when you start building stuff. With only 69 workers, this is taking a minute. Maybe I should have hired both contracts, but then we'd be getting charged like $3,000 an hour, and that'd be quite a bit more expensive. But with all these right here, we should start making some serious money. What's going to happen? Oh, they built the ATC tower, or at least they got it started. Looks like they started it, like they put the top part on first, all right? They're in here just slotting in little chunks of concrete and stuff like that. Inside this area, before we go for too much longer, so we've got our bathrooms. That's all taken care of. This large door opens to here. I'll probably keep this for restaurants right here. We'll probably turn this area into a food court. For right now, it's not going to be useful to us at all, so we're not going to stress about it. Inside the information desk area, I actually think we could probably get away with... Let me get rid of a couple information desks. And I forgot we needed airport screens so that they can see their departure times and where they need to go. Otherwise, they get salty. I forgot about that, so there we go. We got our airport screens now so that they can see where they're going. I mean, we can change the floor tiles. We can do all kinds of stuff in this game, and apparently we've got a helicopter now that it's nighttime, and we're able to be like, shoo, shoo, stop, it's the police. But yeah, the other things we need to set up is, so for these things right here, anything that's blinking with a power symbol needs to be set up in the overall chain of things happening. And so what it wants for this area is it wants us to set up our taxi zones. So for the taxi zones, we're not going to set those up right now. We'll probably do it later. For the taxi zones, it wants us to set them up, and that's just going to be really simple. They land on the taxi zone right here, and they go down this way, they go down this way, and they go down from the center. And once they do that, so this one will taxi straight out to here. This one will come over and taxi down to a middle line right here. This one will go down and taxi to a front line right here, is what I'm thinking. So planes disembarking from right here will go wide and select their hangar spot. Planes going from here will go mid and select their hangar spot. Now, there's going to be some complications there because planes are going to land in opposite directions, but at the beginning of the game, we shouldn't have that many things going on. Like, it should be all right. We should be able to piece it all together. And so anyways, they're building our terminal right now. That's all looking good. What it wants right here is it wants you to, it's not open, I don't think. No, do not open the runway right now. Otherwise, people will land here and they'll be like, WTF, this airport is the worst. And we can't get a bad Yelp review, all right? We just can't do it. So what I'd like to do now is I'm going to stick to my structures menu. And I'm going to do that right there. Then we're going to take a large door, probably two large doors. We're going to drop those right there. And that's just future-proofing for later. That doesn't matter. This is going to be our food court down in here for later. And then we'll probably have a food court, on the back side of this too, so that people in the security area can do their thing and people outside the security area can do their thing. Because remember, people are going to be arriving here and people are going to be leaving from here. So the people arriving probably don't want to have dinner in the security area. That's probably not... I don't know. That doesn't seem like the nicest place to have your dinner, you know? We can change the floor styles right here. I mean, you can put in different kinds of floors if you want to. It's up to you. You can put in everything from bathroom tiles to, you know, walkways with wood and marble and stuff like that. Just depends how fancy schmancy you want everything to get. Right now, I'm not feeling super fancy schmancy. And so anyways, I'm going to let them build for a little bit, and maybe I'll do another episode after this. It'd be nice to see some planes, but we're about 30 minutes in right now, and it's about time for us to disembark. I told you you probably weren't going to see any planes today. This game, it takes a minute to get going. It really sincerely does. So anyways, I will see you all later. My name is Splattercat. This is Airport CEO. I'm going to let them build for a little while. I might come back with a second episode and see if we can get some planes up and running just so you can see the game actually in motion. It's a little buggy and it's a little bit weird. I've seen planes run into each other and nothing bad happens and stuff like that. But at the same time, if you're into this kind of stuff, I'm sure that that's something you would find value in, right? So we'll go ahead and we'll try that out next time around. My name is Splattercat. I'll see you on the next episode of Airport CEO. Hi to everybody.